One of the current priorities our organization has today is focusing on big data environments where people actually bring large amounts of data together in their organization from multiple sources inside as well as outside, and trying to help protect that data. Because typically what those organizations see is when they look at other breaches that have happened in the past, the attackers would build a network map and trying to identify where the data is in the organization. With big data, companies are doing the work for them. They consolidate the data in one single location, and that needs to be better protected than any of the single systems companies had in the past. Our clients is Fortune 5000 companies that are concerned about securing their data in itself, because that is the most valuable asset of today's companies. So what are typical needs our customers have identified that Hewlett-Packard Enterprise provides to them that they really need is the focus on data-centric security. Is actually protecting data in itself by using format-preserving encryption and tokenization to make data unusable outside of the organization. So that helps the companies when they're under attack and the data has been exfiltrated, that the attackers actually have no meaningful data that they can use against the company or its customers. And that's specifically important for healthcare information as well, which is very regulated data, and a data breach can lead to massive fines and even jail time for executives. A lot of the breaches, and one of them is a retail chain that was actually looking at the time at our solution, and that is Home Depot, because they publicly announced in a press release they are implementing at the time voltage security, which got acquired by Hewlett-Packard, now Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, forming the data-centric data security team. And they have been under attack. They had a massive data breach in the past. They implemented the solution in all of their stores. But interesting fact to that one is they had voltage security at the time already in one store, which was not affected by the data breach. So this is a prime example of using this technology can actually prevent data leakage. Best practices for government and health industry to follow in order to protect themselves is not only look at the standards that exist in your own environment, like HIPAA for the healthcare environment, but also look at PCI standards, for example, because HIPAA is a very good example of what you need to protect in healthcare. But the PCI standard explains very well how to protect data. They talk about tokenization and format-preserving encryption and how to identify the right solution. Use the PCI standard to protect your HIPAA information or even government information, which uses format-preserving encryption and tokenization, and also explains what those systems must be capable of in order to be viable and not breakable. So one of the top challenges is for Hewlett-Packard Enterprise on the data security aspect is people think about encryption in an old-fashioned way. Encryption has been around a very long time, but it has evolved like all the technologies in the IT space. And the customers do not necessarily understand the difference between regular encryption and format-preserving encryption. They think about encryption in a general term. If I encrypt, I have meaningless data. But if I use format-preserving encryption, an email looks like an email. An account number looks like an account number. I do not change the underlying database format in order to utilize the data. That means customers have to get into their mind that if I use format-preserving encryptions, my applications can continue to work like they did yesterday without using encryption.